writing can be a pretty lonely thing. Would you say that writing is lonely? Like it kind of has to be, like you have to get into a world yourself with your characters or else you can't get it done? Or is it just that maybe people who tend to do work by themselves and like the idea of just being able to set up the laptop and type, become writers?
I think that I'm actually, I'm kind of an anomaly. I'm a pretty I'm a pretty social writer. I like talking things out. I like having conversations with people. I like sort of challenging my notions. But the typing part, I don't mind having like a little typing party, but nobody wants to join me. It's really? Sad. Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
I'm lonely.
It's funny because a lot of my writers that I know, they don't want to have anyone around while they're writing. Maybe it's just self-consciousness.
Probably.
Even just thinking about myself when I do like writing, whether it's writing books or scripts or whatever, I'll oftentimes like kind of be typing, I get stuck. And then my way of working through it is often just to walk up and pace around the room. I don't know if you do this, but I kind of walk it out. I might even, especially because I do like improv background, I might even like play out the scene, acting out the characters.
I talk as the characters.
Yeah.
Certainly, definitely.
See what they say. Like, what would they say if I did this? What do they say if you did this?
Yeah. And like, I think in the early days of an idea that I have, I need to talk it out. In the later sections of it, I need to talk it out. In the middle portions, I need to type it out, sort of thing. But early on, because I've been challenging myself a lot, Jesse.
Yes.
I've been challenging myself as a writer.
What challenges?
So, I mean, initially I started off as a comedy writer, and then I went to genre, which I really loved. But then I'm seeing, like, there's like these days, and this is very, very, may not really be the standard way of thinking about things. It may actually be totally wrong. But I find that sometimes there are narratives that kind of follow obligatory follow things in a more expected way, which is really pleasant viewing. You're like, I can binge this whole damn thing.
You don't need to move your brain because you're like, okay, I've kind of already on a subconscious level, I know what the scene will accomplish.
Yeah.
And the only thing left is like kind of what lines did they put in there and where is it happening.
As a viewer, you're like, this is on rails, baby. Like we're going. And then there's a different kind in which you're watching and you're like, what's happening? What is this? And so I really started off as the type A kind of writer, the kind of like the jokes are unexpected, sure, and the character's wild, but there are certain things that you're meant to accomplish on this journey. And I'm trying to see now, how far can I push it in the opposite direction?
What kind of challenges have you given yourself to try to do this? Like,
so I don't want to pitch my show here, but I'm like, because this is just something I'm writing for myself.
Nice.
But I'm taking the idea of a coming of age story and sticking that with revenge. And I'm like trying to see how far you can take this, because mostly revenge stories tend to be like the Count of Monte Cristo, where it's like every episode I will take down another person who screwed over my father.
There are 7 people that destroyed my life, and every episode, luckily, we have 7 episodes.
I slashed them in the face.
God, that was convenient. It'd be very inconvenient if we had 8, but only 7 episodes.
What do you know?
One of them would be, there's all sorts of problems. But
what are the odds of that? And then in the final thing, I can't kill the last guy, and we have to have a duel.
But even if you had 7 people that needed to be killed over 7 episodes, you could, in theory, subvert that by, failing and then blowing up 3 of them at once in a car.
Yeah,
you still have the ways of subversion, but it sounds like from what you're saying that you kind of want to go beyond that.
Even beyond that. Yeah. So I don't even know if what I'm doing is like in any way makeable or doable or even good. But I will say that I'm learning a lot from it by like stretching myself as much like a rubber band as physically possible. Maybe I'll go like so far off the line, it just the line becomes a circle and right back.
And you're
you
like,
never know.
I want to write a rom-com.
No, it's a musical.
Well, I think everything is revenge musical would be good. I'm liking it already.
No, don't do this to me.
But so this is interesting though, because I feel like a lot of people like, when they want to expand their skill set, they need to take on challenges. We all know that taking on the challenge is the best way to expand the skill set. How do you actually hold yourself to doing that though? Because it's very easy. I have jokes that work. If I go on and do them, I know the audience will laugh. Really what I should be doing is making sure that I have new material every time I go on stage, at least a little of it, so I can test new jokes. It's easy to just kind of do the ones that work. How do you actually get yourself to do the challenging thing? Do you have any tricks?
A little bit. So I have people to hold me accountable. So in certain things, for instance, like Plan B, right? That was a road trip movie about getting the Plan B pill.
Yeah.
Certain things. A, there will be a road. They're going on said trip. The plan B pill will be at some point addressed. Okay. You know, and on this journey, you know that there's going to be pitfalls, and there's going to be, and because the two characters are best friends, you know that there's going to be a friendship challenge at some point. These check. These are all obvious things. But what I am doing, just to teach myself more about how to push myself, is I'll come up with a premise and then be like, where the fuck is this taking me? I actually don't know. And then I sweat for a long time.
Do you want to be in that don't know area, or is it unintentional to be in the don't know area?
It's intentional to challenge myself. It's not intentional for the best storytelling of my life.
Yeah.
It is intentional so that I can just keep myself like sort of moving quick and dirty almost. So, oh my gosh.
Ayo.
No,
not the tea. Let's write that off. But yeah, you're saying so, but for the best storytelling of your life, it's not going to work like that.
I mean, for the best storytelling of my life, I think maybe it could work like that. But for instance, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, incredible movie, right? But even when I was watching it, I was like, what the what? Like, what is happening?
It's a lot.
I
will say it was really helpful to speak Mandarin to watch that movie.
Sure.
I was watching the movie, I'm like, this is great. Like, this is how I think.
Yeah.
And then I was watching it with 5 of my friends from college, one of whom spoke Cantonese but not Mandarin, and nobody else spoke anything. And I was like, I thought they did that great. And then they were like, it was really confusing. I'm like, which part? But even then, it was fast.
It was fast, for sure.
It was meant to be, or I don't say it was meant to be disorienting, but they clearly did not care if there were sections where you were disoriented.
Totally, absolutely.
They were.
What I like about it.
It almost seemed like they liked the fact that they knew they were being mean to you.
I liked it. I was like, be mean to you. But you kind of understood what the ending was going to be based on the beginning with her relationship, right? But you kind of, but the middle, the whole journey, you're like, where is this guy? I don't even know, like, hoo-ha, sort of thing. But the ending was not so surprising because of the relationships that were set up in the beginning. And I saw that and I was really inspired by that. So I was like, okay, it's not my version of the multiverse. It is my version of, if I were to take this as far as it's going to go, where is this taking me? What am I trying to say about myself? Because it's so stupid. There was an application I saw, and the application question was, why are you writing? Not why did you become a writer? Why are you writing?
Just at all.
At all. And so I was like, I'm going to answer this question. And I started answering the question.
Because I am deeply wounded. Yeah, like that. That's whatever it is. Yeah.
I mean, I started writing the question, or writing the answer, and then it just kept going and going and going and going. And I was like, I didn't even know this was why I did this. But then I realized that there's like so much subconsciously happening in every single person. Not that it's begging to come out, but like it's there, and it's just a buried treasure waiting.